On your mark, get set. Today, we will examine the proper and improper ways people go. That is, how they get out of the starting blocks. That is, how they seize the day. What up, Broseph? Eli's dad here, and welcome back to Project Eli, where we educate, lead, and inspire. You're once again invited to listen in to Eli's lesson for today. Eli, the way you start your day is a critical piece that determines your personal momentum in your pursuit of success. Are you ready to answer the bell like a boxer in the ring for a championship fight? Do you remember when you were much younger, you and I would play a game that you used to call fighting? Now, how did we always begin? You'd start by going ding ding. Now, is your intensity switch in the on position to take action? Or is your mental and physical posture in reactive mode and subject to the whims and distractions of others? You know, Eli, people will tell you that life is a marathon and not a sprint. Isn't life more like a series of sprints that evolve into a marathon? Isn't each day a new race that gets added to the previous day's results? Isn't life a cumulative collection of our daily wind sprints? To reach our optimum speed, it is essential to get out of the starting block quickly and with some forceful momentum. To make progress in the race known as life, we must make a conscious effort to Carpe Diem. Now that's Latin for seize the day. Let's start at the beginning. Now, do you rise and shine when your opportunity clock beckons, or do you hit the snooze alarm? In Latin, snorgasm continuous. Do you seize the day? What too many people do in today's times is to immediately check their devices, their WMDs, their weapons of mass distraction. Did anyone respond to a message I sent out last night? Do I have anything new on Facebook? Do I need to respond to someone that contacted me? How can I help Joey solve his big problem? Alas, even the so-called most powerful man in the world, in Latin, potus tweedledum, starts his day on social media. My implication is that there's something wrong with this type of early morning activity. Well, you betcha. When people get in the habit of checking their phones first thing in the morning, they are giving up their sovereignty of the day, in Latin, abdicato controllus. Here's how that works. Your brain becomes wired to be reactive instead of proactive. You must react to accomplishments, in Latin, embellishmentum braggadocious, of your Facebook contacts, or react to the perceived fires that plague their very existence, in Latin, absolutus cauadunga. Further, there's a rush of dopamine, adrenalinus fictitious, that you feel when you get a response. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't that sound like an addiction? Now, we have created a culture of reaction and distraction. We bring ourselves down by comparing our lives to the embellished lives of people on social media. We get a mental rush when we receive responses from the material that we send out. It becomes a most disempowering cycle that promotes immediate social feedback that dominates us and distracts us from our true clarity of purpose. May we speak about cultures for a moment? When you align to a specific culture, you tend to assimilate to the customs, mindset, and activities that are prevalent within that culture, for better or worse. Boy, don't those words ring a bell for me. For instance, years ago, when baseball and Little League were my life, the Major League culture included chewing tobacco and continuous spitting and scratching as the norm. Today, they don't allow chewing tobacco because it's a cancer catalyst. The culture of put a pinch between your cheek and gum, as the commercial used to say, Skull Brother, is a thing of the past. Currently, the NFL is internally legislating to remove the concept of using the helmet as a weapon. The helmet-to-helmet hit has been proven to cause potential harm. Well, duh! Today, they put a player in the concussion protocol. Years ago, they would just say, he got his bell rung. Hockey players virtually all wear helmets and goalies all wear masks. Previous cultures frowned upon these protection measures. Sometimes the data is just too overwhelming to ignore. And sometimes the well-financed powers that be are able to postpone changes that, in retrospect, were obvious. See companies, tobacco, and firearms. Whoop, get off my soapbox, Dad. Now, some of the signs that a culture has influence, bro, is the insertion of new slang and the creation of new initials to shorten speech. Now, please don't LOL as you ponder this thought with your posse in the crib. For example, I like to refer to myself as Eli's dad, but nowadays, who wants the moniker ED? Aren't J-Lo and A-Rod bad enough? Do you, J-Lo, take A-Rod as your lawfully... But I digress. The point is, sometimes we can only see something as harmfully excessive in retrospect, as a Monday morning quarterback. Whoops, sorry about that. Question: do you even have a clarity of purpose, or is your life dedicated to the various viruses of distraction? Aren't the excesses of this texting, tweeting, and social networking culture turning life into a spectator sport? Shouldn't the first question at the dinner table be, what did you do today? Too frequently, the initial question is, hey, did you hear about or did you read about? Now, please don't misconstrue. Technological progress is to be celebrated and utilized, but not to negative excess. For example, what motivated me in this particular rant were two offerings on YouTube. The first was an exceptional interview with Jim Kwik, Kwik, by the way. It was he who proclaimed that the present culture of reaction and distraction robs us of our sovereignty and our power. It diminishes our clarity of purpose. Now, just as a honeymoon, teaching your son manners, and taking a vacation are all things that must be experienced personally to maximize results and enjoyment, so too is seizing the day. Mr. Kwik states further that what you focus on is highlighted by your brain. You, quote unquote, discover more solutions because your brain does not filter out where it's focused. To achieve an objective, his formula is h cubed. That's h to the third power. Your head times your heart times your hands. Seeing, visualizing, forming a mental connection. Feeling, forming an emotional connection. And doing, taking action, forming a physical connection. Emotion gives you the energy for motion. Be careful what you feed your head, because your mind is always eavesdropping on your self-talk. Where you extend your initial focus determines the direction and strength, your momentum, of daily achievement. The importance of getting out of the starting block fast is paramount to progress and success. Now, do you utilize the law of attraction, or do you reframe it to the law of distraction? Now, the second YouTube offering that motivated this rant was, quote, how to manifest a text message from someone specific. I did, by Kaylin Bowman. Now, no disrespect to Ms. Bowman, but really? Now, sometimes a deterrent can only be measured when you look through the rear view mirror. And as it frequently says, warning, sometimes the object acting as your deterrent is closer than it may appear. Get out of the starting block. Start with some quiet time. Express thoughts of gratitude for what you already have. Identify your purpose. Visualize your desired outcome in its completed form. Have a proactive mindset for achievement. Remember, Eli, champions have a bigger not to-do list than a to-do list. Carpe Diem. Seize the day. Now, next time we reassemble, our subject will be procrastination. I'm having trouble getting started. To ensure you don't miss that, subscribe and ring the bell. Tell your friends too, and do that right away. Don't procrastinate. Remember to review the description box as always for some additional nuggets. Our thought for the day is the mantra from businesses that focus on regulations and not progress. Their mantra is, the beatings will continue until morale improves. And because we never end a meeting on a philosophical note, get out there and charge! I'm Eli's dad.